Thank you for joining me again. What we are going to do here is look at PowerPivot calculations. So in this very first calculation, we are looking at grouping or bucketing each row of data in terms of the population of individuals that are over 69. So what we have there is a very small formula that simply groups each of the rows and with respect to the percentage that have a population of over 69 years old. So the first three rows have a percentage population of between 5 and 10%. So we could also have a go at sorting buckets of data as well. So we can paste that information in. We can see we forgot the equal sign here. So if we wanted to do some sorting of the data, that's a very useful way of getting the message of the data across to individuals. It's easier for people to summarise and see the information quite quickly. So we could sort the buckets with respect to the percentage buckets of people or categories of people that are over 69 years old. So it's dependent on this particular column here. So we could use sort by. So in terms of percent buckets, because it's a text field, we could use another field in order to sort that data by. So we could sort it by another column if we chose to do that. So we'll come out of that at the moment. And then what we'll start to do is have a quick look at the formula. We can see where the cursor is, that it's not very easy to read. And the population itself isn't very clear either, because it's just a lot of integers. However, when we start to look at the PC buckets column and the sort buckets by column, we can see that they are much more easy to quickly read. Now, although it may be meaningful to us as a business intelligence developer, it may not be very meaningful to the individual who is consuming the report. So in some cases you may want to hide data from the client tools. So that would hide that particular column from PowerView. So although the sorting mechanism is very easy and simple for us to understand as developers, for the users they might be wondering what the 2, 3 and 4 is meaning, because they may remember that they don't actually have that in underlying data and wonder why it's appearing. So sometimes it's a good idea just to hide particular columns so that we don't see them in PowerView, for example. We can do this with key columns, that's what we've done in the last few columns in the census table. And we can review the other columns as well, such as the state keys. Because basically the customer is most interested in meaningful data. And while the relationships are meaningful, the keys are not always meaningful to the business users who are looking at this data. So now we've hidden all of our data, keys, the ones that we don't want people to see. And then we can concentrate on visualizations that are meaningful for the business user.